I'm Norma Jean with Realty Executives in Action. Do you have any real estate plans for 2014? Why not put your plans in the hands of an executive? It costs no more to have the very best. Put our experience to work for you.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Smitty's Cards and Coins. Would you like to know what your collectibles are worth? Come by 2281 Postal Road, Unit 4, across from the post office. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Tonight on News 46, locals celebrate and remember those who have served proudly. A popular thrift store catches fire, and part of the town loses power as a result of an accident. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Monique Mitchell. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, May 27, 2014. I'm Monique Mitchell for News 46. Well, a Memorial Day event was held yesterday at the Veterans Memorial in the Chief Tecopah Cemetery on East Street.
Welcome each and all of you for coming to our Memorial Day ceremony.
The Revolutionary War, 25,324 men killed in action. The War of 1812, 2,260. The Mexican War, 13,283. The Civil War, 650,000. The Spanish-American War, 7,166. World War I, 116,708. World War II, 408,306. The Korean War, 54,246. The Vietnam War that we know, 58,223. The Persian Gulf War, 363. Afghanistan, Philippines, and Iraq, and this number was only as of 2006, 2,906. All other conflicts since the Revolutionary War, 8,330. And just through acts of terrorism, 3,336. That is a total of 1,350,451. Truly, freedom was never free.
PFC John Lukac, 19, Las Vegas. Specialist Theodoro Torres, 29, Las Vegas.
Lance Corporal Shane Patrick Harris, 23, Las Vegas.
Staff Sergeant Emmanuel Ladares Legaspi, 38, Las Vegas.
Corporal John Luke Bateman, 22, Pahrump.
And salute.
Well, this Friday, another Memorial Day event will be held at 10:30 a.m. at the Chief Tecopah Cemetery. All are invited to attend, so please arrive early and bring a chair. The main structure of the building 160 thrift store caught fire Friday afternoon. Fire Chief Scott Lewis from the Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue explains.
Around 4:30 on Friday, we were dispatched a report of a structure fire. Upon leaving our station number 1, we observed a large black smoke plume developing. On our arrival, we found a complex of numerous structures, property strewn about, temporary and fixed structures, as well as a primary residential dwelling, well involved in fire in the center part of that complex. So our immediate objectives became to be exposure protection. We found that there was numerous appliances, bedding material, and the contents of a 124 by 40 foot Quonset hut that was loaded with property from basically top to bottom, side to side. So we had our challenges cut out for us in the very early stages of the fire because it's in a non-hydrated area. So we had to make sure we brought all of the water with us and our apparatus, including our tenders and engines. We also exercised our mutual aid agreement, and we also utilized what's called our all hands, which brings all of our personnel, both our career and volunteer, back to man the apparatus. So all those things came into play in the very early stages of the fire. But one of the important challenges for us is that we were also fighting a wind-driven fire with shifting winds, no less. So we had to place our firefighters and our apparatus in strategic places that nobody would get hurt. The business was not open at the time. Our crews accessed through the main primary gates of Division A, which is on Long 160. They stretched large diameter hose lines in and ground monitors, so we could put a large amount of water on the fire in the very early stages. And they accomplished this successfully. Again, one of our huge challenges was this large Quonset hut. There's only two entryways into the building, one at the very front and one at the very rear, and those both consisted of overhead doors. So there was no intermediate man doors on either side of the building for us to make access and try and cut off the fire. So we needed something that would give us a long reach and give us a volume of water that we needed. So the ground monitors and our 2.5-inch lines were the answer to that. Crews made access. They did a really good job despite severe conditions, including the temperatures outside, severe temperatures on the inside, tremendous amounts of smoke and fire load within the building. And they were able to hold the fire to the immediate ground cover behind it, including a vehicle, appliances, and the bedding material I mentioned earlier, and the contents of that Quonset hut. The structure itself remains intact today. We were out there just a little while ago, and we found that the second Quonset hut on the complex was also protected, and that was loaded with furniture. So we were able to turn the power back on at the end of the evening to the primary dwelling, and the resident reoccupied that structure. The tents and all the property that's surrounding there that was still for sale is still intact.
Well, a single-wide manufactured home caught fire on the south end of town Saturday afternoon. This home is owned by C.J. Broadhead. You may remember the Broadhead family. C.J.'s brother Anthony tragically lost his 3 children as a result of a structure fire in 2011.
Early Saturday morning, dispatch report of a structure fire. Upon our crew's arrival, they found a fire condition presenting on a single-wide manufactured dwelling. There were exposure structures on either side of that building. Again, we had some weather. That was the winds were adversely impacting our operation. But crews came in. They did a modified interior attack and quickly cut off the fire that was advancing throughout the structure and protected the nearby exposure structures. So again, a good success story. There was only one casualty, and that was a pet cat was killed in the fire. And it was my understanding the cat may have got out but ran back into the fire at some point. But all of the occupants were accounted for, and no injuries to either firefighters or the occupants.
This started reportedly as a dryer fire?
Yeah, the investigation revealed that most likely we're heading towards an accidental fire in the area of the dryer. It was known to have some problems, and it had some intermittent issues over the past 6 months. And it was in use at the time of the fire, and the evidence that we found suggested that it was most likely that of the appliance.
Was the home a complete loss?
The interior had severe fire and smoke and heat damage, and but the structure still stands today.
We're hearing that it's a Broadhead family?
It's my understanding that, yes, it was the relatives of the Broadheads.
So is Red Cross helping them at this point?
No, they declined assistance, and that they had family in the area.
And then is there going to be any follow-up as to this fire at all?
No, it appears to be accidental in nature. If the family needs additional assistance, they'll give us a call, and we'll help them to the best of our ability.
If you would like to help the Broadhead family, please contact Deanna O'Donnell here at KPVM TV. The phone number is 727-9400, extension 201. The American Red Cross has made contact with the Broadhead family, according to a report this morning. They have volunteers checking to see that the family's needs are met. And part of the town lost power temporarily on Saturday afternoon as a result of a single vehicle accident on Highway 372. The driver and only occupant sustained serious multiple injuries as a result.
Tonight's accident report is brought to you by Stovall & Associates. Don't expect insurance companies to have your best interest in mind. Stovall & Associates cares. Let us help you if you have been involved in an accident.
a motor vehicle accident involving a car versus a utility pole. The utility pole was actually split in half. It was dangling precariously on Highway 372 with secondary lines draped across 372. So a very dangerous situation. The lines were considered live until proven otherwise. The crews came in, they extricated the patient from that vehicle. Mercy Air was landed on Highway 372. Patient care was transferred, and that patient was then flown to trauma.
The power was out over there around that area for a little while. Why Valley Electric arrived on scene and bypassed it.
Valley Electric was there very quickly, and thank goodness it occurred right in front of their facility because all their equipment was close. So they were able to come in and restore power in a very short fashion and also restore the traffic on 372.
Do you know the cause of the accident? There was reports that maybe this person had had contact with other vehicles too.
There was reports that that vehicle may have impacted other objects. I'm unsure that it was being investigated by NHP, but we're uncertain as to exactly what prompted that particular impact against the utility pole.
And only one driver and occupant?
Yes.
You can't determine, or you can maybe, DUI or medical issues possibly?
Unknown at this point. Until they get to a medical facility and have a complete assessment done, there's really little way for us to know exactly what happened.
And coming up after the break, we're going to have more on the structure fire of the thrift store for 160 when News 46 comes back.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Integrity Taxi. Reliable, safe, and fun. Call Integrity Taxi at 751-1111.
Welcome back to News 46. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue had a busy weekend along with Nye County Emergency Services, who partnered with them to extinguish the building 160 thrift store blaze.
Well, we're still tallying up the numbers from the weekend, but we're about 100 fire and EMS responses over the course of Memorial Day weekend. So that's a significant number, and there's a lot of things that could have been prevented. Several of our brush fires were believed to have been ignited by fireworks, and we're in the season now. Temperatures are high. We're still experiencing the winds, and the conditions are extremely dry. So we don't want to have those types of catastrophes. We already lost one or two structures this season from brush fires and the use of fireworks. We want that to stop now. We're also going to be placing a burn moratorium this coming Friday to help eliminate any potential fires like that. But in the situation that you're describing, is a lot of these things are preventable. Be extremely careful. Don't light off the fireworks. You know, go and observe the organized shows that will be forthcoming in around July.
Also, 2 structure fires just recently started by children?
Yes, we've had 2 significant structure fires within the past month, and both were at the hands of juveniles.
Is that fireworks related or playing with matches?
One was playing with an open flame source, and the other one was playing with some fireworks.
And so keep them away from the kids, keep them out of reach, and, you know, we know that we're not supposed to be lighting fireworks here in town.
Absolutely, and it's for a good reason. You know, we're experiencing these type of issues and these fires, and we're not even addressing yet the potential of the injuries from use, and we haven't had them yet, and we don't want that to happen.
Well, 37-year-old Devon Stokes, who was sentenced to 30 days in jail, followed by probation after prosecutors say he left his infant children in a car on a 97-degree day to go gambling. Stokes' children were 9 months and 3 months old when he went into Dottie's in October of last year to gamble and drink. Well, the 3 men who were arrested for allegedly trying to use the social media site Facebook to lure a 14-year-old female to meet them for sex appeared in court. 19-year-old Nestor Ortiz, 31-year-old Justin Kerpil, and 27-year-old Sean Speakman agreed to meet the female in various locations for sexual activity. Ortiz and Speakman accepted a plea deal in their cases this week. Both men pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of statutory sexual seduction. Kerpil is scheduled to go to trial this summer. And after these messages, find out what Lakeside Casino did to celebrate this weekend's holiday.
Pahrump, are you getting tired of being capped on your internet? Well, not anymore. Wave Direct has no data caps, and with great local customer service, why go anywhere else? 30-day trials are available. Call 775-253-3887.
Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
Welcome back to News 46. Golden Gaming celebrated and honored those who have served our nation. They held their annual event Saturday at Lakeside RV Resort.
Golden Gaming put on another successful event on Saturday, the annual Lakeside Barbecue Beach Party. It happened from 3 to 10 p.m. on Saturday with a barbecue, drink specials, kids games, and prizes, and of course live music by Drew Baker and the band. The whole beach was opened up for free boating and fishing, as well as those kayak rides. Kids also enjoyed swimming in the pool down there at Lakeside. Friends and neighbors sat on the grass in the amphitheater listening to the band and dancing the night away. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Desert View Hospital, in partnership with Mercy Air, took the time last week to thank EMS personnel for their hard work and dedication to our community during EMS Week 2014. The two organizations hosted a barbecue for 3 nights for all EMS personnel as a token of appreciation. Well, it's barbecue season. A structure was saved yesterday afternoon when a barbecue malfunction caught a home on fire on the north side of town.
Yes, yesterday we had a fire in Simpkins. It was reported to be a structure fire to the rear of the structure. Upon arrival, we found out that we had a barbecue that apparently malfunctioned and shot a propane-fed flame against the structure, which blew out the window and started the exterior wall surface afire. There was a firefighter, actually a retired firefighter out of Massachusetts, that was on location and assisted with the suppression as we arrived. So what we found was mostly extinguished structure fire, exterior wall surface, and a leaking propane tank, which the crews handled expeditiously with no further extension.
How does a person handle or find evidence that their propane tank, especially now this time of season, is malfunctioning, and what should they do?
Always check the lines for leaks. And one of the easiest ways to do it is if you don't have a good sense of smell, is to take some soapy water on a sprayer and just spray the connections. If there's bubbles that appear, you may have a leak.
Okay, and then what should they do at that point?
Shut off the main tank and then either replace the line or have someone come replace it for you. But don't use it if you suspect a leak.
And here's today's first business brief with Chuck Coppola.
This is the first business brief. I'm Chuck Coppola. The latest housing data is a welcome surprise for economists. New home sales thawed in April, rising 6.4%. And inventories hit a 3.5-year high. The numbers were a jump for this year, but slower than last year's pace. Since then, price increases and higher mortgage rates have slowed down the market. Google is working on a new 3D tablet. It's part of Google's Project Tango platform. The device tracks three-dimensional motion as it's held while it creates a map of the environment around it. Google plans to produce about 4,000 prototypes of the tablets beginning next month. And e-waste, it's on the rise. Globally, 49 million tons of electronics were simply thrown out in 2012. That's according to the STEP initiative. The U.S. improperly tossed the most electronic gadgets, followed by China and Japan. Small household appliances are also ending up in landfills. That's the first business brief. I'm Chuck Coppola.
Well, folks, keep it here because right after these messages, we're going to have your weather with Noah Began. So keep it here.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Tuesday, May 27th. I just got back from the dentist's office and I saw a nice couple there. I never actually did get the chance to say hi, so I am saying hi now. Hello, people from the dentist's office. Today we had nice sunny skies with a high of 100 degrees. Really hot. Your average temperature around this time of year is 93 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest today at 9 miles per hour with gusts up to 24 miles per hour, so some pretty high winds there. The UV index today was 10, which is very high. Humidity was at 14%. Sunrise was at 5:30 this morning, and the record high in 1974 was 108 degrees. Tonight we'll have mostly clear skies with a low of 71 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 69 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour with gusts up to 12 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 22%. Sunset will be at 7:53 p.m. and the record low in 1953 was 44 degrees. Tomorrow we'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 98 degrees and a low of 69 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 11 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 20%. Sunrise will be at 5:30 a.m. and the UV index will be 10, which is very high. For our 7-day forecast, we'll have a mostly sunny week, though we'll probably be seeing some clouds here on Wednesday and then again on Saturday. Your high temperatures will be starting off way up in the high 90s and going down to the high 80s on Sunday. And your low temperatures will be ranging from the low to high 60s.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that 89 degrees next week. Well, folks, that does it for this edition of News 46. I'm Monique Mitchell, and from everyone up here at News 46, we hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you here again tomorrow. Until then, good night.